and welcome to our weekly Energy Shot podcast. We are Matt Taylor and my name is Nicole Ercolani, and we have decided to produce this podcast series in order to give you a weekly astrological update and energy shots, which will also include wisdom, healing, practical coaching tools for your day-to-day life. In order for you to link to the higher realms of the energies and then bring them into your body and some guidance. So, hi Matt, how are you this week?
I'm very well, thank you. I've got a new air conditioner. Can I just show that a little bit there? So it's very good. It's replaced the old one that was kind of like that kind of, it wasn't like that, but it was kind of feeling a little bit like it was on its last legs. Very excited to be sitting here with my air conditioning on. So yeah, it's very lovely. But we had to have a man come in and swing from the roof to replace the outside machine. So it was thrills and danger last week.
It's amazing.
Yes. So that's my little bit of news. And for you, anything exciting?
Yes.
You've got a new background, I see.
Yes, I redecorated the house. There's this new rose quartz is new. Now working together with
beautiful.
It's as a Turian, it's really important to have the living area, the house, in a way that you want it. And I finally come to the point where I'm happy with what's going on.
Where's your moon?
My moon is in Pisces.
So you need Pisces feelings in your house, no? Needs to be Pisces feelings, spiritual or sort of calm or floating. Do you have water, anything with water in your house?
Yeah, I have a sink.
A
shower.
I always recommend for people who have a moon in a water sign to have a little bit of something watery.
A little fountain?
Yeah, something like that. Just something with a trickle, or even if it's just a nice, some people just put a nice water bowl with some little, decoration inside of it, that it might not want fish, but, something like that, or, anything that has a bit of a water thing. And I find that people have water moon signs really it brings something to them. But you use crystals, right? So maybe something with crystals and water or something.
Pearls and shells.
Yeah, something like this.
Water with that.
Yeah, and I think that, they do that. I have my moon sign in Libra, which is an air sign. So air conditioning is very important. I need windows and breeze and air. Yeah. I need to feel I can breathe, you know what I mean? So we are more prone to the air element in our home. So we need something that invites air,
So
it can be something simple. It doesn't have to be a whole thing. But I find it just one thing and that invokes that element. And yes, it makes a difference. Yeah, speaking of moon signs, we're in the month of Cancer, which is ruled by the moon. So we are talking a lot about homes in this month. One of the things that we're talking about is because it's really the sign of roots or origins or places we're from. Could be our country, our home, our mother. So it's really something that we really kind of put a bit of focus on during the month. And also moon rules emotions, feelings, sensitivities, right? So this is a place where those sorts of feelings and sensitivities are done. And one of the challenges of the month of Cancer is because there's so much water in Cancer, right? There's so much movement, is they're very insecure, or they're very offended, or they're upset very easily. And so everything is much more of a big deal than what it is. So really we're kind of moving against that energy, right? Trying to secure ourselves with things more about us, things more internal, right? Or doing things that, create a sense of security about us and safety.
Yeah.
So this is one of the things, yes.
Yeah, I can see the influence of the moon in this month. I feel it very much in myself, especially when it comes to the house and the rearranging.
Right, yeah.
And the augmenting the vibration of the house, the vibration of the living area. I can feel that. but I also can feel a lot of emotional kind of backpacking.
Yes, that's and the moon last week started in Scorpio, which is, you know, bringing things out from the deep. And this week the moon begins the week in Pisces, which is your moon, right? And begins the week in Pisces, which is connecting in very deeply into our true self. So, you know, this is probably a very watery month. You know, we have a lot of moon element, water element this year, that a lot of the weeks of energetic weeks have started with the moon in a water sign. And Cancer's internal element is also water, so it's the water of water, you know, so we are really feeling into things and, you know, all the water stuff. You might be dreaming more, you might have more subconscious kind of feelings, you might be like going in deeper places or into your subconscious, or you might be feeling a bit more trauma or a bit more pain. And when that comes up, we have two choices. I think watery things can send us into a victim status. I'm helpless, I'm hopeless, no one sees me, I can't do anything about it. Or water can also cleanse and heal, so it can purify and wash things away. So really the trigger is to really let go, not hold on, right? So we don't want to hold on to all pains, we want to let go of them, we want to release them. And also too, water signs are not great for proactive things, right? These are proactive people are more fire signs, right? So we need to be a little bit more proactive about, you know, the things that we want to change. Yes, the things that we're not happy with. So, you know, it's to let go and be proactive is really what we need to be when there's a lot of water. Otherwise, we sort of swim in things or, you know, go into that victimness I talked about.
Yeah, that makes very much sense.
Yes. So month of Cancer, moon starting in Pisces. So as I said, this is a very week where we're lifted into compassion and kindness and really nurturing other things and what we want to see grow and what we want to, you know, really feel into and, you know, be with a lot of people and talk about deep things and sensitive things. And also Venus is moving into Cancer. So we have a lot of water beginning this week. And with Venus in there, we're going to be feeling much more into our money and our relationships, our health and our balance, right? Those are the things that Venus rule. It rules all the four major quadrants of our life, the relationships, money, health, and balance, right? That's Venus, all Venus. So when it goes into Cancer, it means I'm feeling into those things, what needs to be nurtured, what needs to grow, what needs to be talked about on the deeper level, where how do I put my heart into things more? So we've just had Venus in Gemini, which is all the flitty, glittery stuff, right? So, you know, if it's relationships, it's more like meeting new people, going out, having a little party, a social media, a dinner event. It's all nothing too deep, no? Chitty chatty stuff, which is good still. But this is now we go in deep, right? This is like all the deeper stuff that we want to talk about and connect to. So we're going to have greater intuition with that. But also when we have a challenge in these areas, the danger is that we, as I said, with Cancer, that all these things get blown up into a big movie, you know, much more than what they are. So we need to understand that while we have, you know, with our relationships, we, you know, particularly, you know, emotional, sensitive people, they love to have the deeper relationship, the deeper connection with things. But this is not a time to get so deep that everything is like problematic. That's the challenge, right? Not to go in like making things up, well, what's going on, you know? I'm feeling like there's a lot of lack. I'm not loved enough. I don't have enough money. This is when we are insecure or we fall into lacks. Yes. And that's the danger of going too deep with things, that there's nothing out there for me. So that is a Cancerian movie, right? That is, they don't think they're good enough. They think the world is, they haven't got anything inside them. They don't think there's anything out there. When they fall into their negativity, they're very insecure and very offended by the world. So we need to come out of that that kind of negativity because of the amount of water and because Venus is going into Cancer. And the antidote is always with water is to be a bit, don't blow things up, keep things moderate, and take proactive steps, take responsible steps to change. That's right. So if you know where your moon sign is, particularly in this month, really see what are its challenges and sort of go against them. But with a moon sign, it's always, normally take action.
Mm. I have nothing more to add to that.
Okay, great. Okay, great. So this is like the way forward, right? This is a great month if you're in a relationship and there's the deeper things to talk about, but not to get emotional or oversensitive or, the single tear down the cheek. This is not the time. We don't want to go down in that like lack and insecure movie. Okay, so that is kind of the month of Cancer, right? And there's a lot of water energy in the chart. So it's going to bring up making things much more than what they are. And instead of doing that, we need to come out of that and go, where am I going to take proactive steps? Now, I think particularly if you look at the chart and some of the other factors, there's definitely things around that where we can focus that particular thing, because I think it's going to be more financial rather than actual relationships. If you look at the thing we've been talking about over the last couple of weeks, the Uranus is in the North Node, is conjuncting together. That means Uranus, which is about shaking up, revolutionizing, changing, freedom, getting things unstuck that are very blocked, knocking things down that are very constructed. It's all about revolutions and shaking things up and change making into more senses of freedom and liberation, right? That is Uranus. North Node is about karmic destiny changing. So this is happening for the world. It's shaking up what the karmic destiny things are. In Taurus, it's always about things that we are very physical. Mainly the two things for the world are the environment that we live in, and money, right? Taurians are very conscious of these two things. They're very conscious of the environment and their surroundings and their land and their nature and their home, right? And they're very conscious of their money, right? They're very conscious of these things. And anything else that is physical, they're very much with the physical world, right? Not a bad thing, but the thing is that they have attachments, right? They hold on to things. And as I said, with Cancer, if you look at the sign that the animal that rules it, it's a crab, it has claws, and for it to get security, it clamps onto things. So in a way, Taurus and Cancer share that insecurity for different reasons. The sign of Taurus has insecurity because we look for security from the physical world. And the Cancer has insecurity because sometimes we look for security, just give me secure emotions. Make me say good things to me. I don't want to hear the things that I'm not good at. These are what Cancerians can't cope with, right? The insecure of all these tidal moon, watery emotions constantly moving. They've got nothing to hold on to, right? And the crab, which rules this, the animal that rules Cancer, got claws to hold on to the physical world, but for different reasons, not financial reasons like Taurians, but more emotional reasons. So there's challenges in the insecurities, right? These are the two things. And the things that make people insecure most is when they feel like they haven't got something, when they're lacking something. And the big lacks will come from Cancerian kind of lacks, which is there's a lack out there in general, right? There's nothing there. It's like the new moon. When we have a new moon, there is no moon. We can't see it. They feel that lack. And Taurians feel lack when they can't control their financial systems, right? or their sense, they get it from the value of something. Oh, this cost 10,000, or he's in this job, or this cost me that, and this is, and the first thing they say about something is how much it's worth, or how expensive it is, and how luxury it is, and all that. So, which is great. We don't want the other alternative, but we don't want to fall into the attachment of something. Now, if we look at the North Node of Taurus, the South Node is in Scorpio, right? Which is their insecurity, as everything is attacking me. So really what this great sort of moment is about is really letting go. The more we try to attach ourselves to the physical world and try and get security from it in this particular week, or saying, oh my goodness, there's a climate crisis, right? There is a health crisis, there is a financial crisis, and these things exist. Nobody's making them up. But the South Node in Scorpio is making everything traumatic. And the month of Cancer is making everything insecure, right? So this great favor of Uranus is coming in and obliterating everything that we used to hold on to. And we don't like that, right? Because we like to hold on to things to make them insecure, to make ourselves feel secure, whether it's a relationship, right? How many people have we ever talked about, or in our circle, or even ourselves, that we've been in a relationship too long because we don't think we can get another one, right? That's a lack, right? Oh, I'm not going to get another one. There's no one out for me. This is the one I'm going to stay in. Oh, but, and we do all of this stuff because we can't let go, right? The jobs that we hold on to, the way, the budget systems that we hold on to, the way we go to the supermarket that we hold on to, or so many things that we hold on to, because if I do anything different, it's going to be worse. It's going to go into a lack. I'm going to lose the washing machine. I'm not going to, all these things that we hold on to from fears, right? Which is also the South Node of Scorpio. So what's going to happen is this Uranus and North Node, as they come in, they're shaking things up. They're karmic destiny changers. They're making them, pushing us into new ways, right? New realms to let go. Now, on the 1st of August, which is amazing because it's so easy to remember, not only is Uranus and North Node still going to be conjunct, but Mars will come in at 18 and 19 degrees Taurus, where the Uranus and North Node are, and join them to make this trilogy of energies. Mars is about pushing things forward. It's like a big sort of like cheat energy. It's a big like, it's a big like injection of like forwardness. This is where we're going. This is where we're heading off to. Together, freedom of the Uranus and the will of Mars gives us a whole new free will in our karmic destiny. Right? And that's what we all want. We all want free will. We want to be able to choose our reality, right? But you can't choose your reality if you're holding on to the same systems that you think are nice or good, or keeping you safe and secure. That is the last thing that will take you forward, right? You have to take giant leaps forward. So this is not only happening like to whoever's listening, it's happening to the whole world, right? This is a world chart, right, that we're doing. So financial systems, talking about taxes, talking about economics, talking about inflation, talking about recession, talking about heat waves, talking about fires, talking about all of this stuff, right, which we have completely in reality because of these things. All are pushing us not to like hold on anymore, but to let go. Go, and if your money's not working out, do new things, do different things. Take new jobs, learn new skills, take responsibility, do those things that you've always wanted to do if you're not happy. Make those conversations that are difficult if they're not serving you anymore. All of these things that may be difficult or uncomfortable are being shaken up. Taurus is the great comfort, right? It's the great comfort. And we know that Uranus and Mars are the opposite of comfort. So we're being pushed out of our comfort zones. We've been holding on. Cancerians love comfort as well. They don't like anything shaking and moving because they're always shaking and moving inside. They need to feel the security of the physical world. by holding on to it. They're the type that will also go and buy a handbag or a coat, or put the hoodie up when they don't feel so good and hide away, right? Or buy the physical thing to make themselves feel better, right? This is them as well. They share a little bit of the same way with Taurus. So these insecurities and these cover-ups and hiding away and making nice patterns that are all going to make us get through this is not going to work. We have to do something new. We have to do something brave.
What I feel to say on a personal level, what you can do and what is really like helpful in those times is in the coaching, there is a strategy called resource work. What is that? A resource is something where you can hold on to, where you receive a great amount of comfort, of power, of fun, of joy, of love, like all positive emotions from your past. Let's say you have spent 7 years ago a 2-week holiday in Thailand on a beach where you've seen the most beautiful sunset and you have a picture of that. That, for example, could be a complete amazing resource for you during these times to say, okay, I currently don't feel so comfortable and I don't feel so amazing, but I work with the existing positive emotions that I have already experienced. And therefore, what you do with that is you completely start to shift your perceptual reality from looking for the rather tensionous, negative, rather difficult situations, and you can shift and let go. Like the letting go is easier into more positive vibrations.
Yeah.
I found out that this really helps a lot of people. Or you have spent a beautiful time with your godson or with your nephew or with your niece. You have a family gathering that really was nice. You had a very beautiful client session. And what I found out was like using pictures or drawing a little mood board for that, or like really working with those most positive moments of your life. That really helps my clients a lot to maneuver themselves.
Yes, looking for the abundance in something is super good, right? And yes, not just like the traditional ways we've been told that are abundance. Like, we have abundance in many different areas, in many different ways that connect us back into the feeling that there's a lot of light there. Yes. I really like it. And it reminds me another thing about the month of Cancer is we have, Kabbalists explained, a good eye and a bad eye. So the bad eye is seeing the lack, which we talked about, and feeling insecure. And the good eye is being able to see how nurturing and amazing and abundant this thing is. So it's a really great idea, is just to look at things differently, or look at things that have been abundant for you and start to feed that moving.
Yes, and also to remind yourself that I think during Cancer season, and Cancers specifically, they tend to forget completely the good things. They completely erase the positive moments of their life out of their consciousness. I've seen many times with Cancer-born people, very specifically, that they tend to just focus on what's to be worked on, and
what's not there, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
So therefore, I feel it, because we all have some Cancer in our chart somehow, that for and it's a very simple exercise. Like, you can really sit yourself down and like close your eyes, and then you're like, okay, when was the best moment of joy? And then probably you have a moment with your friends out with some champagne bottle or something, I don't know, or you laugh with your children, or there was a really funny moment with your dog or your cat, or like whatever it was. And you can like remember yourself that, oh yeah, it was a little moment, but it really brought me joy. And then your body, what your body does, and that's the most fascinating thing, it recreates this joy. That means you change directly in the moment you look for those moments, you change your vibrational reality into joy, into more fun, into more lightness, into more. Or when was the last moment you felt completely empowered? Or when was the last moment synchronicities happened, where everything came together and something magical happened, you know? And then you are in this vibration of this magical vibration, and therefore you can like really have it already there again, and then you attract new things with that as well.
Yeah.
It's very beautiful exercise.
Yeah, excellent. It's a great piece of consciousness, you know, and an exercise. It's really practical. I would also look for one thing that I think that I would do that, and then I would make things very clear. So I think like in all this water, things get very foggy and not nebulous and very blown up and out of proportion. And because of what we're going through with the month of with the sign of Taurus, about shaking up all the places that were comfortable, it can, you know, we're going through a lot. So I would get clear on things. So I would, if you are in a home issue, I would write down all the things you need to do in the home. If you are with a financial issue, write down a budget. If you are with a relationship issue, work it out to what the one or two key problematic areas are, right? Because this is the month when all of these little things come in and they become 48 font, and you're looking at things like way, way too big than what they actually are. So this whole idea of looking at the good things, looking at what actually is the one or two problems and getting clarity and taking something about it is much better than the swill and the anxieties and and movement of emotions that can come with all of this as we get pushed on from our comfort zones. We have to let go of the comfort zones, and as I said, the first half of the year will be much easier than the second half of the year. We're now we've got headwinds blowing in against us. Jupiter will retrograde next week, which will mean that there's now 4 planets retrograding, and that will only increase as we go more and more into the summer, culminating at the end of August and September in this big, high point of many, many planets retrograding and pushing us to review our lives very, very intensely. We've had similar points in 2020, 2021, 2022. At the end of the year, there's been a lot of planets retrograding, and this is when all of these problems have started, right? Whether they're health, economic, political, all the shakeups and upsets, right, have happened in the end of the year. We're going to have another one in August or September, and it's going to be, whatever it is, but it's really now to get clarity on the issues that are affecting you at the seed level. And they're never a lot of things, and they're never big things. They just appear that way. And also to feed into what Nicole said, is to feed into the positive movie more.
I think it's really important to not forget, like, especially in the spiritual community or the people that want to do healing, we tend to look too much to the things that are not yet perfect. And tend to not really appreciate and really be thankful and be grateful for the things that already work very well. And
we're very easily distracted into the lack. Yeah.
I mean, it happens to all of us, and I think it's also a normal human behavior that this happened. But I also feel to say that it is really important that we remind ourselves, like, how much good there is. Like, I have a little, like, it's really funny, but Tina and we have a little thing that we do. Whenever we have something that is really working great for us, like either we have a new client that signed up, or we have, I have sold something from my meditation shawls, or I do some crochet stuff and all of that. Whenever that happens, we call each other And we're like, oh my God, I made it. I have a new client and it's so good. It's one more person doing something for themselves. And, you know, we really start to hype each other about the good things. The same for Ally Vision and my Ellie. We try to like celebrate the little wins, celebrate the small pieces. Like I have something very small that I can do now. For most people, it would be like, well, why is that even a thing for her? But I can now listen. I never could vacuum clean and wipe my floor because I had a back operation when I was 16. So I couldn't do it by myself because I would like end up in such deep pain. And since like 2 months, I can clean the house all by myself without a problem. This is the best thing for me. It's like, oh my God, I can do it. Like I actually can. I don't need help for that anymore. Nobody need, you know, I don't need anybody anymore for that. And that's such a big win. And so whenever I'm cleaning my house, I call Bettina after. I'm like, I did it again and I'm in no pain and it's so great. You know, it's the best thing ever. So I think celebrating your small wins. You never used to do your laundry. You never folded your laundry away nicely, or you never ironed your stuff, even though you like it ironed. And you can change like those small steps. I have a snoring dog here on the floor. I hope you don't hear it too well. She's like, whenever you have the small wins, or you change the dishwasher. Like people hate to dishwash sometimes, and all of a sudden you can do it, and it's no issue anymore. Like celebrate yourself. It's so cool. You made something very easy that was very difficult before. Good for you. And also that has to do with this household quality, with the Taurian energy, with the Venusian energy. And I think like really the focus on the little positive things, I think make a huge difference at the moment.
Yes, it is. Yeah, very good. Well, that's all we have.
Yeah, that's all we have for this week. Thank you very much.
Before we go, I'll explain a little bit about Jupiter retrograding next week and some of the other retrogrades, because I think next week is that our last one, and first not until September. Yes, and we won't be here in August. But next week I'll explain all the things that will happen during August. More, not the week, maybe just more of the big things over the month, so that we got the month to know what's going to happen. But yes, it's going to be interesting.
So make sure you're not missing next week, because
no
good going on in August.
All right.
Okay. Thank you very much for listening, guys. It was a great pleasure having you. Thank you, Matt, for amazing explanations and giving us enlightenment on what's going on in the planets, so we understand what's going on with us.
Yep.
I really appreciate that. And I wish you guys a wonderful week, and see you next week.
Bye.
Bye.